I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood Season 1, Episode 22. Ling is fighting Bradley. Ed is fighting Scar. Roy Mustang is holding his nose to do impressions of other people. It can't get better.
It couldn't get better. If I was going to follow a fool into battle, and that fool happened to be Roy Mustang, count me in. I'm going in.
You ready?
Yes.
Sweet.
I have like 3 to 4 pages left in my notebook. I'm gonna have to start another one.
This might be the first time
That
in
I'm
AutoSave
beating
history
you?
that you have taken more notes than me. That's absurd to me.
You normally fill the notebooks way quicker than I do.
And yes, partially due to my bad spacing, but still, I'm impressed.
Your spacing has been so much better than mine. Like,
That's just sad.
I don't know if you can
That's
see
pitiful.
this, but
It's
I'm
embarrassing.
like
I can't believe you
writing
just showed that.
like this. You at least, are writing on the lines.
I don't want to waste paper, Anna.
You know why I'm probably writing like that? In school, I used to like rotate my notebook and like write really like weird like this at my desk.
When I was in kindergarten, I needed one of those grips for my pencils to be able like to hold a pen, right? It didn't help me in any way,
Did you feel special?
unfortunately.
Okay, lawn fun? No.
Yes, he has.
And we were successful with that, but I am scared. She's fine.
Oh my god.
Ooh. That should be impressive, right?
I want Ling to snap.
Snap, please.
Oh!
You got what you asked for! For my
God
eye.
damn it. Jesus, Ling!
Little do you know the truth about his eye. The fact that he's navigating with Lanfan too.
Oh!
Perfect.
That being able to immediately track them and sense them, you know? Excess baggage.
He's not gonna abandon her.
Oh!
Woohoo!
Now you're double blind, idiot. Oh!
Didn't know about that one. When he said I, he didn't mean the one that was uncovered.
Oh no, we're going back to Scar. That's for fucking sure. Wow. Winry looks just like her mother.
Oh my goodness. Hughes.
私、ヒューズさんにお父さんの背中重ねていたのかな。
Makes sense.
たまに会いに来てあげてね。あの人結構寂しがり屋だから。グレイシアさん。
Oh, Jesus.
I don't want to cry right
I
now.
know.
It's too early.
I'm kind of surprised that we're with Winry. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
また喧嘩。
Oh no.
Is she
The
piecing
back.
things together? Why are they overlapping?
The back.
Why did he look so ready to fight? So confident.
Whoa. Cool shot. If only you were a little taller. Whoa.
Oh, like a
sick,
hand.
Al. Just be careful.
We're distracting you, it's fine.
Oh, shit.
Will he remember who they are? Things overlapping.
Vanity and the art of creating something.
And you wouldn't have wanted that either. When you have overlapping things you'd agree upon with your enemy. Winry being here.
She looks just like her mother. Oh no.
What the? Oh. No. Oh!
Why give us a title card for it?
Oh!
Holy shit!
And that's how he feels inside right now.
Okay, alright.
Save.
聞いたか国家錬金術師のことを。それと兄と何の関係がある。お前の兄が国家錬金術師に対抗してて、さらにそれを超える強大な力で軍を壊滅させる方法を見つけ出すかもしれないのだ。力を超える力で。
But to put that on his brother.
奴らに報復を。血の報いは。見ろ兄
And people are just gonna want to use you to hurt other people.
Other people, though.
Just like how all the state alchemists feel being used in this way.
Wow. Having them all identical eyes, too. Jesus Christ.
You're so right with them all looking identical factor. That is brilliant. You can't differentiate. What is his brother gonna do? Over and over. It's a cycle. Revenge is a cycle. Vengeance. Why have him hold on to it?
私にもしものことがあったら私よりお前の方が生き残る確率が高い。見ろ、足の震えが止まらない情けない兄だ。兄じゃ。
The shorter, older brother. Oh my gosh! Kimberly?
Crimson.
Oh, his face. The arm! He has his brother's tattoos! Does he literally have his brother's arm? Oh my god. You're not the pathetic older brother. What have you dedicated your life to? Oh my god. You can hear the concern that they have for the doctors.
Blue.
No, it's attached to you. How that must feel to wake up with, dude. Oh my god. Here's the book. That will also do. Oh my god.
Oh, the cat!
Oh, it looks fine. It looks fine. I got scared for a second too.
ウェンディ銃を離せ。
撃てなかったって父さんと母さんを殺したんだよ。エドとハルも殺そうとして。なのに
Why couldn't I?
お前はラッシュバーレで赤ん坊を取り上げて親子を救った。俺に立ち上がるための手と足をくれた。
You're meant for creating and bringing life into the world.
お前の手は人を殺す手
Oh
じゃ
my
ない。
god.
人を生かす手だ。
Life to others.
だから
The music.
Okay, that was Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood Season 1, Episode 22. That was
It
insane.
was a great episode.
That was easily, I think, my favorite episode of the series. If not my favorite one of them, for sure. That
It feels
was
so easy,
extraordinary.
It feels so easy to say that. It doesn't feel like I'm making some grand claim, you know, that I can't back up.
It feels like a grand moment for me. It feels important. It feels like a significant moment in my life, as watching certain aspects of Naruto gave me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well, this is
Winry.
definitely the type of show that I would have watched at the same time that I would have watched something like
There's so
Naruto.
much that
I
went
just
in
didn't-
into this episode, but I wouldn't hesitate at saying it's a Winry episode. Like, obviously there's so much more, and we get so much more clarity on things and tragedy, but what a perfect getting her with Gracia to end here is the craziest journey you could have told me. I would never have expected this episode to take me on.
Like, we start with her having an amazing awareness of the fact that she was projecting her father onto Hughes, and that's why she has, through such little time with Hughes, was able to kind of have such a strong connection to him, and therefore the grief hitting in the way that it does. To start the episode off with that, and then, so not only do we get her having this awareness of her projecting, but right after this scene, we have her walking through the town and realizing, and I'm going to use her word for it, why are my memories overlapping with certain events? Like, why is that occurring right now while I'm hearing that Ed and Al are currently fighting? Oh, they're fighting a guy that has only been fighting state alchemists. Why is that idea and this person connecting with my memories of my parents?
It's so interesting because, like, what is there a term for what I'm going to attempt describing? It's like, typically you'd call it, like, oh, it's too coincidental. Like, so many things are happening at the same time that, like, everything's falling into place. But it's almost like a deja vu feeling. Like, that Winry is realizing before it happens that, like, life is falling into a certain time and place for her, that the moment that's about to happen is going to define her entire life going forward. It feels
real,
magical, almost.
It feels magical, but in a real sense.
Yeah,
like, this is a magic
yeah.
that can exist in your real life. You could have an intuition feeling, a premonition within yourself that feels like, oh, I'm crazy right now for connecting these things, or why is that memory coming back to me right now in this moment? And in hindsight, you might be able to piece together what it is that was happening, and you'll be like, oh, that's kind of spooky or cool.
What an enormous, brilliant way to convey it. Like, having her line say, maybe I projected Dad's back onto Hughes, only for a minute later when she's walking to see her
And
parents
she's
back
seeing
and to see Ed and
Ed's
Al,
back.
and Ed specifically, and like you're saying, why are they overlapping? But it's like, she wouldn't know, you know, but it's just that, like, gut feeling, like that intuition, and it's such a brilliant job at conveying it. Holy.
Right. So, like, I feel like, as you said, like, this episode feels like a Winry episode, but I would definitely say the three characters that kind of take home the plot for this episode, and each of them having, I would say, like a really great importance to it, would be Ling, Scar, and Winry.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like all three of them definitely have like things I want to talk about when it comes to that character and what happens for them in this episode.
Let's go Ling first, because I
cool.
think there might be less.
I would agree that and the Winry and Scar is maybe a little more connected.
Yeah, I think it could just be a better way to like bring it back full circle.
I'd agree with that.
With Ling, easily like highlights. It's so hard because it's not a highlight of the episode because so much of the
so
other
many
episode was so
highlights.
many good.
The whole thing's a highlight.
But it's such a good moment. His reaction was everything, and he sliced the shit out of
Lanfan?
Gluttony.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Like
I mean, Lanfan, she sliced Bradley's sword, like with her kunai when she was able to kind of
parry
make them up, parry them. That was awesome. Obviously, she's incredibly skilled. But yeah, that initial Ling's reaction to her being wounded, I would say right off of that, one of my favorite moments in terms of like his fight with Bradley was the choreography.
Oh yeah.
Of the fact that he was basically swaying and dodging
around
Bradley's wrath.
Yeah.
That we know is amazing with a sword.
While holding somebody.
While holding someone, and she's not getting injured. We're not seeing slices against either of their bodies happening there.
We saw in the intro that Ling was fighting Bradley, but that doesn't like confirm like a power scaling thing. I was so impressed by it, but what impressed me more, because I was like, oh, I really want him to snap, you know, was his way at conveying his own beliefs to Bradley in such an interesting, like, intimate, you wouldn't expect it to happen way. Like, okay, you're identifying who Bradley is. You're able to do so. And then Bradley acknowledges...
At his uniform.
Yeah.
That's how we identify
and Bradley acknowledges, like, you could probably get away from here. You could get away from me. You just have to leave her behind.
The baggage.
And it is the literal epitome of both of their views of what a king should be. Okay, like, so, taking a person, taking your people, caring about them, or the kind of king that Bradley is. When I need to pull up the line.
Is it the line that no true kings?
Yeah.
Line? Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I think that it's fun to bring up the idea of like we have no actual idea of what like a true power scaling would be in terms of like one-on-one fight with Ling and Bradley, especially because yes, Lanfan's involved, Gluttony's involved, so like we can't have a true one-on-one here and or like begin to like see what that would actually be. I think that the real conversation and scaling that is happening is in terms of worth of true leadership and true kingship. We have Ling as one of 50-something emperor's children, you know, and he's trying to get, you know, the Philosopher's Stone. He's trying to get the immortality or a cure for the Emperor, but not for the Emperor's sake, for his clan's sake, for the people that he is the leader of, that he's the protector of. It's not about a loyalty to the leader of everyone that he is doing what he's doing. It's the fact that he's a leader himself of people who are loyal to him, trust in him, and have a need for him to succeed in saving the Emperor, helping the Emperor, and getting his favor out of all of the children. You know, that idea that Ling is literally here because of all of the people he's carrying on his back right now. Like, Lanfan is just representing the thousands and thousands of people within Ling's clan that he's carrying on his back and trying to do what he's doing for.
Mm-hmm. Man, I never thought of what an eye patch could bring to a battle in terms of an advantage in this way. It's the perfect thing to go against a flashbang. Like,
I was gonna say to have
flare.
someone underestimate you at first.
You have part of your vision being protected at all times. Mm-hmm. Surely you're not using it actively, but on the very off chance that you're going to meet somebody in the street, they want to fight you to the death, and they have a flashbang, you have an advantage at that point. Just lift it up afterwards. They won't expect it.
And it's fun
they don't expect anything to be there.
It's fun because Bradley has a line that is like, you can't like escape my eye, but obviously a character like Ling who doesn't know the truth underneath the eye patch is like, oh, I guess like oh, they do say that if one of your senses gets dulled, then another one is heightened. You would think, like, if you can't have usage of one of your eyes, then the other eye would then be doing the work for two, therefore might be stronger. That's what he could mean. Like, no, actually, there's something underneath the eye patch that you should be worried about.
I am very nervous, but excited to see where that goes. I had a question for you. So, like, going into Scar a little bit.
Okay.
In episode 5, I'm trying to skip through.
It's the first time we really get to know his point of view.
Isn't there a moment that Scar hesitates and, like, second guesses, like, putting down the blow? Like, and I'm thinking it might be derived from the idea that Scar's brother protected him. We get that shot with Ed during this episode, and that makes him reminiscent of it. I'm wondering if that's a through line through the first fight that they had.
I feel like it totally could be a through line, especially because we could then be utilizing it again with the actual literal body block that then happens in this episode that is representative of what Scar's brother did.
Man.
Go
on.
I want to get into
the
Scar and then the Winry.
Man, what a beautifully horrific way to convey the assured safety and relief that Scar would feel that his brother's alive by seeing his arm.
Seeing the arm.
And then the tragic psychological nature of the twisted realization that what happened. I
mean, we were definitely right for our guess or our theorizing that Scar didn't just choose to kill the Rockfells with complete sanity and complete peace of mind there. Like, it wasn't like he woke up and was completely himself and then decided to kill them. And we were right. And I think that, honestly, if we hadn't run out of sedatives, that might not have happened. We literally, grab the sedatives. Oh, we're out. We used them on the last guy. Fuck.
Damn, they did a horrific job in, like, the best way possible at displaying war, and it was really hard to watch.
Oh, what did I write down? The identical nature to all of the people, the Mestrians.
Obviously, you have like similar appearances within the Ishvalan, but then you also have just the idea of war and the people coming against you. You are going to start to see them as all the same, but also the added weight that the intention that it's blonde hair and blue eyes from the get-go is for us because of Winry's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so good.
It's something that we can attach to and understand too, that oftentimes people from different races might have like a harder time at differentiate. Oh, they all look the same. There's always like those kind of gross comments of like someone of another race looking identical to someone of the same race as them, when that is so far from the case, you know? And that idea that they can't, these people, the state alchemists, can't differentiate an Ishvalan from another Ishvalan, but it gets deeper to the fact of they are not differentiating in terms of violence. Children, women, elderly, everyone is getting decimated by this. There's no differentiating from I can tell one from another to even who they are as a civilian.
Completely flattened and totaled. Like, the last shot of what Scar sees was devastating. What the fuck? The weirdest character in this entire series is Kimberly. Like, to get him in the beginning of this series, in jail, and in the interaction that we saw him with.
Where he's, like, not gonna help out, you know?
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, we see it here. How the fuck is he...
Jail.
How does he come back in? Like, you don't show him here and at the beginning unless he comes back in. He's gonna come back in. Is it, like, some connection
not a part of
to Ling? Is it some connection to, like, how how does that happen?
I think that it definitely opens up questions like you're bringing up. It's like, well, why was he in a jail cell to begin with? Because obviously we know the state alchemists all committed crimes in this war, and it's not like they were punished for them because it was like sanctioned by their government to do these things. But he's in a jail cell, but he doesn't agree to help out someone else in terms of like anti-establishment choices, you know, to fight. He's just sitting there, you know, plotting. So like, why is he there to begin with? where does he lie in terms of how he feels about his actions in the war?
Mm-hmm. So
Definitely
interesting.
questions there.
I wanted to see if I could go back and find him in the jail cell, just because,
Just
like,
for that scene.
yeah,
It's so quick too. We get the hands,
it's-
which is nice. A nice touch that's how we identify who he is standing there and why Scar's brother kind of like, his reaction to the transmutation circles that are on his hands.
bring down his rotten military. You must have seen the hell that took place. Yes, yes. You must know Bradley made us do there. Bro, you are barking up the wrong tree, dog. That's why you killed those officers.
So he's there because he killed officers, but he's not necessarily agreeing that he did it because he was like
I do not
anti
think
what
in
they
such
did.
sophisticated terms. I killed these guys because I wanted to kill them. Nothing more adds up.
He's painting himself as just like a psychopath that just wants to kill people for fun. But is it really that simple? It
Might
could
be.
be. It totally could be. We could have a character that just wants to kill to kill.
Just like narratively, it's wild in a beautiful way. You know what it reminds me of? Without trying to spoil anything, there's a manga that is an anime that is very popular that I love. It's obvious that I love it. Don't look too far, but in that, anime, they depict the very opening chapters differently than the manga does. And in the manga, a character is introduced in the first chapter, and then it completely pivots, has nothing to do with it for a while in that story, and then that character comes back in, and it's like, holy shit, it makes so much more sense to do it like the manga would do it. Why wouldn't they do it that way in the anime? It's like, it's such a beautiful, like, question in the back of your head, like a pin in the back of your head,
Mm-hmm.
And like, once it comes back, in any regard, it's gonna start snowballing with anticipation. It's such a great narrative choice.
I feel like it's also snowballing in the unnecessary theorizing, because like we're saying, there is no deeper need, or as Kimberly says, sophisticated terms for why he did what he did and why he's in jail and why he did the atrocities he did that Bradley told him to do.
He's like made as a character right now? After rewatching the first episode bit right here too, we know where he doesn't lie and what he's not willing to agree with. We have now seen how much devastation he single-handedly can do.
Single-handedly did.
He wasn't with the whole, like, in agreement to kill Bradley. He's a pawn that can be used by Bradley at this point, if anything. And not just a pawn, a fucking bomb, because we saw what he did.
Yeah, he's basically a bomb.
Like, Crimson Alchemist, what the fuck does that mean? Red, ooh, you gonna hurt me with, yeah.
It
looked
like
bad.
It gives very like atomic bomb. You look in the sky, the whole sky is red kind of
Like,
vibe with the idea of Crimson Alchemist.
If that is like he just wants to kill, and you're like, yo, here's a free pass, just fucking do it. That's terrifying. And I kind of forget about him,
Yeah.
And then seeing him here, I'm like, shit, why? What? How?
I feel like you have to have fun with writing a character like that you're then gonna like not have in the storyline, and then you're gonna like sneak back in for people to be like, yes, you exist. Some other things that I'd want to talk about is the fact that like we have a nice kind of theme segue, or they're very similar, so it's not really like a complete jump, but the idea of memories overlapping then turning into the idea of what is a vengeance cycle.
Yeah.
Which would be and I think that this is a really, really interesting line or idea that Scar puts forward, which is, she shoots me, I kill her, you kill me, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's totally like, yeah, that makes complete sense if you would then kill me after, what I would do. Because that's what vengeance is, and I would be I understand the animosity, that makes complete sense to me.
The vengeance will only cultivate more vengeance.
Mm-hmm. And he says it would end with us, is basically, like, our circle would end with you taking me out here.
I love how, them having the
gotta,
title
like,
card
burn
of
this up.
Winry with the gun is diabolical. That is so that's crazy that you do. That's a crazy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Good job.
Her in distress was so beautifully portrayed. It was so raw. Damn.
As soon as I saw the gun laying on the ground there, I was like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have her pick it up. Oh no.
Music at the end of the episode was absolutely brilliant. That was great.
There's a idea that's introduced of being able to sympathize with an enemy or someone on an opposite side from you or someone that is different from you. Like the idea that the Rockbell parents even put into play, which is, and then the Ishvalans who tell us what happened to Winry's parents, and like both are great examples of breaking down that, like, you know, I'm still, like, I'm able to see you as a person and care for you and agree with someone or sympathize or empathize with someone that your other people are seeing as different and as an enemy. And we get another kind of example of agreeing with your enemy or sympathizing with someone that you view as an opposition with the introduction of, like, the reminder about Sho Tucker and Nina.
Yeah.
You know, like, learning what Ed and Al had happened there, where they learned why Scar did what he did.
And being confronted, like, they're not going to go into their bodies anymore. Like, there's no going back from that, you know?
And they're like, Scar did something with Nina in mind while we did nothing. That idea that, like, he did something that they can totally see as, like, I wish I could have given her something like that. Now that, like, we in the back of our minds, we knew that it was, like, really messed up to, like, leave her in this position. She could be experimented on. He's totally right here. And just having that during a battle, how that kind of breaks, you know, chips at the kind of, like, maybe the energy you have toward fighting someone when you start to, like, understand them or agree with certain things that they do or feel.
It was really interesting to see the Scar's interpretation of the other Ishvalans, like, about, oh, we just need to wait for your brother. It's going to be our weapon. And, like, how Scar's view of that is because of the brother's intention of research in the first place. That was great. And my last thing that I want to talk about that I think would be, I could have not talked about in the discussion, and that would have been bad of me, but I would understand it because of how much everything else shined. Ed's maturity at the end of the episode was absolutely phenomenal with Winry. It was so good, and everything that she needed to hear. You gave me the arm and leg that allows me to stand up while taking the gun out of her hand. It falls to the ground. Your hands are not hands that kill others.
His first example that he uses before himself is the idea that her hands have literally
given birth,
brought life into this world while also protecting the life of the mother.
Yep.
That she was able to successfully help the birth of a baby with the mother and the baby both ending up being safe. And this all comes from Winry being like, why couldn't I? I had every reason to want to shoot him. He literally killed my parents.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I pull
their
the trigger?
hands that give life to others? It's great. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Best episode. One of the best.
I feel like it's gonna get better. Maybe. I hope so. I think it's gonna get better.
How can it get better?
But, like, okay, let's think then from this scene, we can then jump to the idea of, like, well, what do we expect for next episode? Here we have Al saying to Ed, you get Winry somewhere safe, and Al goes after Scar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Scary.
That idea that, like, one brother kind of separating from the other that we get with Scar, and it's the one that the thing was done to, if you will. Like, Scar is literally, like,
Scar's
was made the way that he is.
They're both the younger brothers. Yeah,
and
in
they're
that
both
situation.
Impacted by the choices of their older brother in terms of alchemy, alkahestry. And so for them to have a little more time together could be interesting.
That's a really good point.
Obviously, we still know that, like, Ling has stuff going on. Obviously, Lan Fan is, like, she's okay.
Where's May?
Yeah, where's Mei Chang? Honestly, that's, like, the biggest question here. Come on, bring her back.
All right, you good?
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.